Good morning, Year 4. Welcome to Year 4 Maths for Thursday, nearly the end of the week, just a couple of days to go. Hopefully the weather's still good, although as I'm making these videos a week in advance, I'm not quite sure. The forecast is good, so fingers crossed you'll have some lovely sunshine today as well. We're going to start this morning with our usual warm-up. I've dropped in 2 mental strategy questions and 2 written questions. As always, try and get as close to 5 minutes as you possibly can. Please stop the video now while you're working and press play when you're ready to go again. Okay, first question we're going to look at is 2/3 of 18. Now, we haven't done these for a couple of weeks, a little while, but remember, to find the fraction of a number, you would need to divide the whole number, in this case 18, by the denominator, in this case 3. So 18 divided by 3, how many 3s are in 18? That is 6. This gives you 1/3. To define 2/3, you simply would multiply 1/3 by 2, or in this case, 6 by 2. So 6 times 2 is 12. So 2/3 of 18 equals 12. Okay, second question is we're looking at 50 plus 30 plus 20. Now, I've given you a couple of methods here. The method I would prefer to use is pairing numbers that will make the calculation easier. So in this case, I know that I've got 30 and 20 there. Well, if I put them together, that gives me 50. And then I just add it to the 50 that's already there. So 50 plus 50 is 100. The second method would be, and it's a bit more long-winded, but you might prefer it, would be that you could count on in tens. So 50 plus 30 would be 80, and then 80 plus 20 would be 100. Either or works, whatever best for you. Personally, I prefer method 1. Okay, the first of our longer questions this morning, 543 times 3, nice and simple. Abstract method of short multiplication for our most efficient method. So 3 3s are 9, 4 3s are 12. I need to carry the 1 into the next column. And 5 3s are 15 plus 1 is 16. So 1,629. And then method 2, I want you to think about partitioning as usual. So 543 becomes 543, and then each of those component parts, each of those bits, we would have to multiply by 3. So 500 times 3 is 1,500 or 1,500. 40 times 3 would be 120, and 3 times 3 would be 9. So if we recombine the numbers, 1,500 plus 120 plus 9 will equal 1,629, and you can see that those numbers match there. And then finally, we've got the mystery number, take away 6,573 would equal 2,749. Now, first thing I would be thinking about is inverting this, switching the order of the number sentence. I would be putting my 2 numbers that I do know together. I know that this is going to be the biggest number because it's at the beginning, so that will have to go the other side of the equals sign. And I know that although it says take away up here, I'm actually going to add these 2 numbers together to make the mystery number. So over here I've set up a column addition. So 3 plus 9 is 12, 7 plus 4 would be 11, and then add the 1 in would be 12, and then 5 plus 7 would be 12, and add 1 to make 13, and then 6 plus 2 would be 8, and add in the 1 there would be 9. So the answer would be 9,322. Okay, moving on. Our learning intention this morning is that we're going to be measuring area using multiplication. So we're going to use our times table skills to be able to do this morning. And our vocab, our star words this morning, measure, area, multiply, and count. I could have also used squares in here, I guess. Okay, our in focus question is this morning to draw some rectangles. This young man drew some rectangles, not to draw, sorry. He drew some rectangles. They are all different sizes, okay? Now, the young man at the bottom here is saying, how can we tell the area of each of these rectangles? Now, so far, we've been counting squares. Okay. And what we're going to try and do this morning is give you a more efficient method rather than always having to just count the squares. Because sometimes, as you grow older, you might not have squares. You might just have the rectangles with measurements. So we're going to think today about how different ways of calculating the area. Okay, let's learn. Now we can see here that we've got a rectangle, rectangle A, and it is 3 square units in one row. So you can see 1, 2, 3. If we look in the young lady's thought bubble here, she's put the squares into the rectangle. So you can see that we've got 1, 2, 3, and then another 1, 2, 3. So we've got 3 units in one row, but there are 2 rows. So what we could do here to make it more efficient is we could say it's 2 lots of 3. So 1, 2, 3 times 2. So 2 lots of 3. 2 times 3 or 3 times 2. So the area of the rectangle would be 6 square units. Now we could either count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or we could say there is 3 times 2. So 3 in a row times 2. Either way, your answer would be 6. So using what we've just talked about and what we've just learned, could you press pause now and find for me the area of this rectangle? And I want you to do it 2 ways. 1, I want you to count the squares. 2, I want you to tell me how you could use multiplication to do it. Okay, so press pause now and press play when you're ready to resume. Okay, so in the thought bubble again, she's drawn the squares on. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we know by counting the squares, we know that the area is 12 square units. Now, how could we have used multiplication with that? Well, hopefully you've thought to yourself, well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 in a row, 4 across here, and there are three of these rows. So we've got 4 times 3, and 4 threes are 12. 4 lots of 3 or 3 lots of 4 are 12. Okay, your turn again. There is a rectangle here. Could you find for me the area of that rectangle just using multiplication this time? Press pause while you're doing it and press play when you're ready to hear me talk you through it. Okay, so we have five squares in the row, and we can see that here. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it will be 5 times, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. So 5 times 4 equals 20. So the area of rectangle C is 20 square units. Okay, now it's your turn to have a go at a question on your own. We've got 2 children here. The young lady is saying that she prefers to count squares to find area. The young man is saying he prefers to use, or he can use, multiplication. So what do you notice when you use these 2 different methods? Which method do you prefer and why? So I want you to have a go at using counting squares and also multiplication. And then tell me what you notice and why. Press pause now. Okay, if I look at A here, I'm not going to go through all of them, but I am going to go through this one. If I wanted to count the squares, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I can count the squares up, and I know that there are 15 squares, 15 square units for that area of this shape here. But I also know that I've got 1, 2, 3 squares across a row, and I know that I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. So I could say 3 times 5. would give me 15. Now, both methods are accurate. Both methods will give you the same answer every time, but you've got to decide which one you'd prefer. Personally, I prefer multiplication because it is more efficient. It is quicker. I just need to look at 3 times 5, and I've got my answer as 15. Of course, you do need to know your times tables to be able to do that. Okay, moving on to our independent learning today. What I'd like you to have a look at is worksheet 5 on pages 111 and 112 of the workbook. Press pause while you're working and press play when you're ready to resume. Okay, hopefully you've been able to calculate the area of shapes using either counting or multiplication, but I would have liked you to have used multiplication at some point there. I'd like to say have a good day, and I'll see you bright and early Friday tomorrow, last day of the week. Yay! See you later on then, year 4. Goodbye.